Now this is a Pelican Bass Raider 10E, and that is an 11/16 hole drilled with a Forstner type bit. And this is a whole drain plug that I bought at Academy, Yak Gear. It is, let's see, there's your SKU number right there. I think these were about $4 a piece. Now the directions on the back say that fit into any 11/16 drain hole. I can barely start the tip of it, but there's no way I'm going to push this thing inside of that hole. I mean, I just can't see without tearing it up. So I'm going to enlarge the hole to 3/4 of an inch, the next step up, and I'll show you how I get that done.
It's gone.
Okay, one simpler way to do this would be to take your Dremel tool and just run a stone or a sanding tube inside of there and just enlarge the hole slightly. Another way to do it is to take your 3/4 inch, this is 11/16, and this was drilled and I can't get the plug in there, so I'm going to enlarge it to 3/4. This is a 3/4 inch Forstner, and the Forstner depends upon this point in the center to keep the bit steady while it starts to cut the hole. Now you don't have anywhere to stick the point, so you can't easily hold this on there. It's going to want to walk all over the place for you. So a way to deal with that is to drill a 3/4 inch hole through a piece of plywood and position it over the top of the hole, and then you can cut that out. Now I've done this several times on flooring and other applications where I have the ability to position the thing over the hole where I have the right amount of excess, or the hole, it's centered over the top of the hole, and then I can screw this down to hold it still while I'm drilling it. Obviously I can't screw this down into a boat, so I'm just going to have to try to hold it with my hand and see if I can get it to cut properly. And now it goes in there and fits good. So I mounted the other one on the left side. One thing just to kind of note here, you know, these things are to push down in order to expand the rubber piece inside and seal it. I think it's a better idea to pop these things around where this flips up to the top, because down at the bottom potentially a stick could come along and hit that thing and make it loose, and you might be taking on water. So that's all. These boats come stock with these plugs up in the front of the boat, the very top of the pontoon, and they do work. They're pretty much identical to the ones that we just installed on the back. The problem with them is that once you pull them out, you really got to up in this boat vertically in order to drain the water out of the boat. That's fine if you have an empty boat and you're not putting very much on it, but when you start building these things out and putting decks on them and strapping batteries in and chairs and whatever, you know, that becomes a pretty good task to do that, and it's much easier just to spend the $8 or $10 or whatever to put the ones in the back, and that way you can drain it right on the trailer. I don't have the drain at the very bottom. I've got it about as low as I thought I could get it. So if the trailer was lifted up slightly, or if the boat was pulled off and dropped back, you could drain the vast majority of the water out of the pontoons. Hope that helps. Here's another little modification that I'm going through. I was going to drill a hole through here and put this eyebolt in, so the the hook can catch the eyebolt and hold the front of the boat down. This will of course have washers, nuts on both sides, and then I'm copying this part of it off of I believe it's Max Cast. This is a copy of his deck, and underneath the deck he puts a little bracket in here, and this thing slides into the bracket and it stays up underneath there. When the trolling motor's on, you don't need it there. So. But in the course of drilling the hole, I ran into an object. There's actually some, appears to be plywood inside of, behind this thing to stiffen this this little area up. But I hit a piece of steel in there and I could not drill through it. Took the stainless plate off, and this hardened screw, sheetrock type screw, was down in there, apparently stabilized in a piece of plastic, and that's what I was trying to drill through, was this hardened screw, and I wasn't making any headway at all. So I'm going to cut the screw off above the hole area and then put it back in again, and then I'll be able to drill the rest of the way through. Just another little small headache you run into, and thought it might be helpful to some people that are, I mean, I guess the smarter thing to do, if I'd have known that was there, would be just to drill off to the side, and you wouldn't have to contend with the screw at all. So I had to dead center it. That's how it goes sometimes.